must be known as a 6-day ship, EJ. Even the bloody Krauts can do it. And if second-rate tubs like Deutschland and Kaiser Wilhelm can turn around in a fortnight, then so by God shall we.
I am sure that we will do everything we can, Mr. Ismay.
Splendid. That's all anyone can ask, isn't it?
Excuse me? Excuse me?
Who's there?
Sir Barrett? Barrett, sir.
Oh, the stoker! I remember. Welcome to the most important place on the whole ship. What can I do for you, Barrett?
I heard you could actually send a message back to England?
You heard right, all right. From right here, I can communicate with important people all over the world.
Yeah?
Yeah. I'd explain how it works, but I'm afraid... Oh, hold on. There's a message coming in. An iceberg warning from the Baltic. Oh, that's your old ship, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, you can see I'm awful busy, Barrett. So what is it you wanted?
Well, shouldn't the captain know about the iceberg then?
Oh, not to worry. I already sent him 6 warnings just like it. You know, if you ask me, they don't know what the bloody hell they're doing up there. Excuse my French. It's like we say in the telegraphy business, you can't be a radio operator and remain a Christian.
So how much would it cost then to send a message to my girl in England? Sort of a romantic message.
Very pretty.
Oh, thanks.
But romantic or not, the minimum rate's £2 4p.
2 bloody quid! That's twice what they pay me to America and back!
Hold on. Perhaps I could offer you a professional discount.
Yeah? Well, what's that cost then?
Nothing. They'll never know the difference.
Oh, very much. Oh, you must be sort of a romantic fellow yourself, eh?
No, not me. Romance and telegraphy don't mix, see? I mean, how can you spend all of your time talking to one person when you've got the entire world talking to you? I'll need her name and address.
That's Darlene Watkins, Billsthorpe, Nottinghamshire. Wait, yeah, what's that you doing there?
Watkins. Billsthorpe, Nottinghamshire. So what's the rest of it?
I don't know. It's got to be just the right thing. Darlene's sort of funny, I see. She said if I wouldn't take her serious, she knew somebody who would. And I'm not due back for almost 2 weeks yet, so I might as well come straight out with it. I'll be coming back to you, darling. Back to your dark eyes and hair. Marry me when I return, darling. And until that day, my love, take care. Be thee well. May the Lord who watches all watch over thee. May God's heaven be your blanket as you softly sleep. Marry me when you're finally in my arms, you'll plainly see this devoted sailor's heart and soul are yours to keep.
Yours to keep. Every day from GMOM, good morning old man, to GNOM, good night old man. My telegraph sends its messages to ships at sea, sending out its dit-dit-a-dit-a-dit, dit-dit-a-dit-a-dit, dit-dit-a-dit-a-dit. I was young and shy, detached and sad, spent my days indoors, a homebound lad, hardly spoke, few friends, I kept myself to myself, quite alone. Then I found Marconi's telegraph. It could span the planet's width by half. 50 yards, 2,000 miles, the same. Touch the spark, sound the tone. And the night was alive with 1,000 voices fighting to be heard. And each and every one of them connected to me. And my life came alive with 1,000 voices tapping out each word, like 1,000 people joined with a single heartbeat, tapping out our dit-dit-da-dit-da-dit, dit-dit-da-dit-da-dit, dit-dit-da-dit-da. Voices.
To watch us all watch over thee.
And every one of them connected to me.
Marry me.
So alive with 1,000
May
voices.
God's heaven be your blanket as you sleep.
Those people joined with a single heartbeat, tapping out our dit-dit-da-dit-da-dit.
Marry me.
Dit-da-dit-da-dit.
Marry me. Signed, Fred.
Message received.
Ladies and gentlemen, after our Sunday service, all first-class passengers are invited to the boat deck. Our bandmaster, Mr. Wallace Hartley, and his ensemble will be playing out of doors for your entertainment. Now we will conclude our service with hymn number 27, God Lift Me Up.
God lift me up in mighty waters, keep my eyes on things above, righteousness, divine atonement, peace and everlasting love.
Ladies and gentlemen, everyone up and out for the band and shout, isn't it a lovely day?
Yes!
Watching all the ladies in Parisian fashion on display.
Mr. Hartley is playing quite smartly in rhythm that can never lie. It's a musical treat to hear a band with a beat performing their latest rhyme.
How do you do, my friend? So good to see you once more. How long since we first met? Has it been 3 days or 4? It seems like so much longer than a little weekend jog.
On the ship by ourselves on this glorious afternoon to ring the latest flag.
I love the cool of the breeze. Feel the rhythm of the song in your knees. Promenading along at your ease like a feather in the air.
Is that a hint of a chill? When you're dancing out the doors, it's a thrill. Keeps you hearty and healthier still. Take a partner if you dare. Everyone is bursting with emotion, dancing as we cross the mighty ocean, moving to the rhythm of the latest rap. Come on and dance with me, please. Feel the rhythm of the song in your face. Nodding along at your waist, like a feather in the air. Is that a hint of a the ship's personnel deck, feel all the ocean spray. Yourself on the upper hotel deck, oh, what a swell deck, pray for your déjeuner. Turn the corner of the port parallel deck, it's long the bell deck, all of the rest passé. Now the ragtime music, take you away. Up on the well deck, ship's personnel deck, feel all the ocean spray. Upper hotel deck, oh, what a swell deck, in the air, all your journeys away. Port parallel deck, it's long the bell deck, all of the rest passé. Everything was else deck, watch all the cross deck. Everyone's racing with emotion, dancing as we cross the mighty ocean. Hasn't it been absolutely great to dance the
Alice! I've been looking for you everywhere. You're not supposed to be here. What have you been up to?
Afternoon dancing.
Afternoon dancing.
It's what they call a thé dansant.
Yeah, well, back home it's what they call a crochet.
Language, Edgar.
Come on, little girl. I don't really think we belong here.
Applesauce, Edgar. I have danced with the first class, Edgar. It was oh such a dream come true.
That class isn't for our kind, Alice.
That won't do. Haven't you noticed, Edgar? These days, nobody's any better than anybody else. Take the Wideners of Philadelphia. I stood right next to them, Edgar. They have this extremely handsome son, Harry, the Harvard man. I'll tell you the God's honest truth, Edgar. I would let that boy marry our Lucy in a second.
Well, that's half the battle.
You can make fun all you want, Edgar, but I want more out of life than Indianapolis, Indiana.
But that's why I arranged this trip, Alice, to show you the world.
I don't want to see the world, Edgar. There are too many other places I'd rather see first. There are hotels on islands, Edgar. Great resorts near a sandy beach.
That's a world that's beyond our income and our reach.
That's because you've always been satisfied with only one dinky little hardware store, instead of branching out. How do you think all those millionaires got all their millions, Edgar?
Well, why don't you just calm down, Alice, and enjoy what we have?
Please don't tell me never. I'll want this forever, ever. There's a new world around us, Edgar.
Won't you ever give up that view?
I want more than we've got now, Edgar. Why don't you?
I don't know. What do you suggest we do about it, Alice?
I don't know. I'm going for a walk now, Edgar. I have to be alone for a while.
Mr. Murdoch, what is our present speed?
Steady at 22 knots, sir.
Have there been any reports of mechanical difficulty since reaching that speed?
No, sir. None at all.
Very good.
Captain,
Increase speed to 23 knots.
there's been another ice warning, sir. Masaba reports a very large berg at 42 degrees north.
42 degrees. Yes, that's in total agreement with all the other reports we've received. Except for that one report from the French liner La Touraine. That stated 41 degrees. Now that report placed the iceberg a great deal closer. Mr. Murdoch, how would you explain the difference?
It must have been an error in transmission, sir.
Ah, the radio. I'll never accept the damn thing.
I'm afraid it's here to stay, sir.
which means we will soon be accepting our orders from safe, dry little offices on shore.
It's a brand new world, Captain.
Well, thank God I won't be around to see it. 23 knots, Mr. Murdoch.
23 knots. Yes, sir. Engine room. Increase speed to 81 revolutions of the wing propellers, Mr. Bell.
I'm still waiting, Mr. Strauss.
For what?
The reason you sent our son Jesse a radio message.
He and his cousin Nathan want to make Macy's the largest retail store in the world. They even want to give away catalogs like Sears and Roebuck's. It's totally crazy.
What did you tell him?
To go ahead. It's a new world out there, Mrs. Strauss. I don't pretend to understand it.
Oh, good evening, sir. Henry Etches, first-class steward.
Good evening. Edgar Bean, second-class passenger.
Bean. I know that name.
Yeah, you probably ran into my wife. She likes dancing with millionaires.
Ah, yes, quite so. My condolences, sir.
That's a far-off look I'm seeing in your eye, Kate. Which far-off place is it you're looking at? America or Ireland?
If you must know, I was thinking about a friend of mine. A very, very dear friend. It seems she left home because she made a mistake. A mistake she couldn't get rid of.
She should have been more careful.
So, what are you going to do with the rest of your life?
Who knows? Maybe run for Congress again. To tell you the truth, I really liked it there. And the best part is, you don't have to know anything.
It seems she wants more out of life than I can give her.
Isn't that always the way, sir? I had a wife once.
What happened?
Nothing. I still have her. In all my years, I've never seen it so calm. Is it my imagination, or are we going faster than ever before?
Well, if my friend were here now, Jim, instead of me, what would you say to her?
Well, I'd say, what would I call her then?
Well, we're all named Kate, you know that.
So I'd say, Kate, do you know who the father is?
Well, what a sad question. What do you take her for?
And he refused to go with her? Well, decent work being hard to find, he probably didn't want to leave his job.
Or his wife. So, tell me, Jim Farrell, could a decent fella care for a woman who already has a bit of a family?
Oh, well made, sir. Astor, that'll cost us some.
It's your deal, Major. Mr. Rogers, your reputation as a fine bridge player is well earned. Either that, or you're uncommonly lucky.
Bridge isn't a game of chance, Mr. Astor.
Reminds me of the time I was playing bridge with Lord Raglan during the Crimean campaign, when out of nowhere came 2,000
Praise godless savages. I've been told on very good authority that there are professional gamblers on board. The card sharpers who actually make their living traveling back and forth across the Atlantic.
Gamblers? Nonsense. How do these rumors start?
Oh, you can be sure they're here, Major. How could they pass up the opportunity of fleecing a passenger list like this one? I've even heard talk that the notorious J. Yates is aboard.
I don't remember seeing his name on the passenger list.
Well, you wouldn't, would you? But I'll give you 10 to 1 that he's here. Somewhere.
No moon, no wind, nothing to spy things by. No wave, no swell, no line where sea meets sky. Still And we go sailing, sailing, ever westward on the sea. We go sailing, sailing, ever on-going.
It's a beautiful night, Mr. Strauss, even though there's no moon. Look at all the stars. Can you find the Big Dipper?
The Big Dipper? I can't even find our own stateroom. Every time I go for a walk, finding my way back is an adventure.
Maybe you should drop breadcrumbs.
Can you feel how cold it's getting, Mrs. Strauss? All in the past couple of hours. Would you like me to get your fur stole?
What? And maybe never see you again? No, thank you. I'd rather freeze.
Are you cold then, Katie?
Not now that you've got your arm around me.
But I don't. Oh, you're a funny one, Kate McGowan.
Oh, funny, thanks very much.
Because you come right out with what you want.
Oh, and you find that funny, do ya? What kind of girl do you think I am? You think I need to be told what I want? Life's too short for that, me boy-o.
The weather's quite changed, Mr. Lightoller.
Yes, sir, it's turned very cold, only 1 point above freezing.
Ocean temperatures down to 31 degrees, Captain.
Have the carpenter check our supply of fresh water. Tell the engine room to watch the steam winches.
Aye, aye, sir.
It's not much wind, is there?
No, sir, it appears to be a flat calm.
And we go sailing.
See how calm it is, smooth as polished glass. Ah, the open sea, feel the light and gay air. Open sea, smooth as polished glass.
Ever on-going.
Good night, gentlemen. I'll be just inside. Keep a sharp watch. The naked eye. Now that is something you can depend on.
Good night, sir.
Good night.
Crow's Nest. This is the bridge. Keep an eye peeled for ice.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Madam, this happens to be the smoke room.
So I see.
Women are never permitted in the first-class smoke room, madam.
Don't look so shocked, gentlemen. There's a new world out there.
There's a new world out where?
Mr. Hartley, that's a new melody. What's it called?
Autumn, ma'am. Autumn, shall we all meet in the autumn? Golden and glowing by autumn. Shall we still be best of friends? Best of friends.
Gentlemen, let me introduce myself.
Mrs. Charlotte Cardoza. I know who you are, madam. Recently widowed with a considerably generous inheritance.
And I know who you are, Mr. Astor. Recently remarried to a considerably younger wife.
You seem to enjoy shocking people, madam. I have heard you called a modern woman by people who don't mean it as a compliment.
And I've heard you described as the world's greatest monument to unearned income.
Let breezes blow and turn cold as we continue growing old this autumn. Love newly found may yet last.
So, what do you say, gentlemen? I happen to play an excellent game of auction bridge. May I join you?
Where's your sense of occasion, madam? I understand you've just lost your husband.
Yes, but not at cards.
So, Kate McGowan, what immodest thing are you going to say to me next, then?
Well, I'm going to say, Jim Farrell, will you marry me?
For the love of God, Kate. I know it's a new world we're going to, but we haven't got there yet. Don't you leave nothing for the man to say?
He can say yes. We're gonna need each other when we get there, me boyo. And, well, me baby's gonna need a dad, so we'd better settle it right now. Well, we'll just say yes, then?
Well, I might as well. Chances are you wouldn't take a no anyway. Well, Kate, aren't you gonna throw me down and kiss me?
Thank you. Hard a starboard.
Hard a starboard. The helm's hard over, sir.
Engines full astern.
The bow's reacting, Mr. Murdoch. 2 degrees to port.
The distance, Mr. Fleet.
A quarter mile, maybe a little less.
9 degrees. 10. 11 at full point.
Turn.
Jesus, Mary and Joseph, look at the size of it.
It looks like the rock of bloody Gibraltar.
It's going to pass us a starboard, sir.
Yes. It's all right. I think we're going to miss it.
John! John, are you there? Wake up, John!
Who is it? What's wrong? It's nearly midnight.
John, do you hear anything?
Hear anything? No, nothing.
That's the point. The engines have stopped.
Stopped? By God, I think you're right.
Wake up! Wake up! Mr. Etches, why have the engines stopped?
I couldn't say, Mr. Guggenheim, but I don't suppose it's anything much.
Mr. Etches, is something wrong?
I don't think so, madam. Just following orders. Wake up! Wake up!
We grazed it below the waterline on the starboard side.
How bad is it then?
I don't know yet. All stations, damage report. The exact time of contact was 11:40 p.m. Perhaps one of us should enter it in the log.
If we only grazed it, it couldn't be that bad.
Then we've nothing to worry about, have we?
Report, Mr. Murdoch.
We've struck an iceberg, sir, starboard side. We don't yet know the extent of the damage, but I've taken the liberty of rousing the passengers.
I want them on deck and wearing life preservers. At the very least, they could use a drill. We've never had one, have we?
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. First class passengers, proceed at once to the salon. Please bring your life preservers and await further instructions.
Almost midnight, strange commotion in the corridor.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up.
Engine noise appears much quieter than it was before.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up.
Can there be some incident, some accident the captain can't ignore?
Look what I found on deck, Benjamin. There must be a ton of it.
Be a sport, John, and chip me off a piece for my drink.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captain would be most grateful if you would proceed to the grand salon.
We're taking water in boiler rooms 4, 5, and 6, sir. In 6, the water's already up to their knees.
Close the watertight doors, Mr. Lightoller. See the pumps are activated. Then rouse the carpenter and have him sound the ship.
It's all done, sir.
Our position, Mr. Murdoch. Mr. Murdoch, our position!
Latitude 41 degrees, 44 minutes north. Longitude 50 degrees, 24 minutes west, sir.
Inform the radio room. For God's sake, Mr. Murdoch, let go of the helm! We are dead in the water!
I'm sorry, sir.
Passengers, proceed to the first class salon. Please bring your life preservers and await further instructions.
What's happened? Do you know? It seems the ship is stopping.
Get up now, get dressed now, put on your warmest clothing.
A rumor, I vaguely heard a rumor. An impact, sudden impact, it seems the ship is stopping. Can there be some incident, some accident the captain will ignore?
Steward, why has the ship stopped?
Well, I understand an iceberg scratched some of the new paint, and the captain doesn't want to go on until she's fixed up good as new.
Well, I think I'll stay in my cabin.
I'm afraid you'll have to go to the first-class Grand Salon right away, madam. Captain's orders.
Come along, Alice. Here's your chance to mingle with the swells.
Please, you must get your life preservers right away. There's no time to lose.
I can't go up there looking like this. I've got to fix my face.
The ship will be fixed before that, Alice.
EJ, why have we stopped? I want an immediate explanation.
We have struck an iceberg, Mr. Ismay.
Well, that was rather careless, wasn't it?
We are trying to assess the damage, sir.
Damage? What damage?
We're taking on water in the boiler rooms, but we have closed the emergency doors. and I'm quite certain that everything is under control.
Well, then I trust you'll have us underway as soon as possible.
Mr. Andrews is making a complete inspection. If you will just be patient, sir, you will have his report the moment it's available.
Well, in the meantime, I see no need to alarm the passengers, Captain.
Third-class passengers, fore and abaft of the well deck, please find your life preservers and await further instructions.
What is it? What's going on? Well, there's this terrible scraping noise, and then we just stopped.
So what are we supposed to do now?
I'm going upstairs to have a look.
You wait down here like you're told.
What's happened? No. Did you know? I think we heard a rumor. Sliding past. I bet we heard a rumor. What's happened? Do you know? It seems the ship is stopping. Get up now. Get yours now. Put on your clothes. What's happened? Do you know? It seems the ship is stopping. I bet we heard a rumor. Sliding past. It seems the ship is stopping. Can there be some incidents? Some accidents? Our captain can't ignore.
Yes, Mr. Andrews.
There's a series of small gashes below the water line, stretching 300 feet along our starboard side. There's water in the forepeak, in the number 1, 2, and 3 holds, in the mail room, and in 3 of the boiler rooms. In all, 6 of our 16 compartments have been breached.
But that's all right. You've assured us that those compartments are watertight.
She was designed to stay afloat with any 3 flooded, perhaps even 4. But certainly not 6.
Andrews, what are you saying?
Titanic is sinking mysteriously.
Nonsense! God himself could not sink this ship.
How long has she got, Mr. Andrews?
An hour and a half, Captain. 2 at the most.
Strange and quite disorienting being here, recently awakened from a dream. How the lights burn, every crystal bright as a star.
Dressed in your pajamas in the Grand Salon, looks to be bizarre in the extreme. Things could improve if the steward opens the bar. Oh, it's a memory I want to keep. Now, I would like to go back to sleep. Dressed in your pajamas in the Grand Salon, wondering if things are what they seem. Can you be sure? Do you ever know where you are?
Ladies and gentlemen, could I have your attention, please? The captain would appreciate it if all of you were wearing your life preservers.
Mr. Etches, over here, Mr. Etches.
I'll be right with you, Mr. Astor.
Please, Mr. Etches, what the devil's going on?
Tell me straight, man. Are we in any danger?
Danger, Mr. Guggenheim? On this ship? Mr. Astor, please, your life belt. Mr. Guggenheim, please put it on now. Captain's orders. Ladies and gentlemen, wear your life belts. Mrs. Thayer, if you would, ma'am. Mr. Thayer, we must insist now. It's a mere formality, there is no cause for concern. We'll be on our way. A minor delay now, a simple precaution, a moment of rest. We'll be on our way, we hardly need stay now.
In a moment or two, she'll be right again, traveling west.
See here, Mr. Etches, I demand to know exactly what's happening.
Well, the latest word, sir, seems to be that she's damaged one of the wing propellers, and we could be delayed for an entire day, sir.
I don't like the way this sounds.
Not a bit, not a bit, not a little bit.
We spent £1,800.
Not a bit, not a bit, not a little bit. This is not the sort of a voyage we paid for. I demand to know what the ship is delayed for right now.
How could this ever have come to pass?
Edgar, look!
Christ! Look who's here. It's the second class.
What did I tell you? Everybody who's anybody.
You're the only person here I don't recognize.
Everything is gorgeous in the Grand Salon. Stunningly appointed for the cream. Thousands of bucks gets a trip deluxe without par.
Mr. Astor, please, your life belt. Mr. Guggenheim, please put it on now. It's a mere formality. There is no cause for concern. We'll be on our way. We'll be on our way. Mr. Guggenheim, please, upstairs now. Mrs. Widener, if you would, ma'am. It's a mere formality. There is no cause for concern. We'll be on our way. A minor delay now. A simple precaution. A moment of rest. We'll be on our way. Hurry, stay now.
Any minute now, any minute now, any minute now. We'll be on our way. We'll be on our way. We'll be on our way. Our way, our way.
Jim Farrell, are you down there? It's blocked up here. We can't get through. What the hell are we supposed to do? Jim Farrell, where have you gotten to?
Over here, Kate. Look here, Kate. There's water running on the floor. See it coming underneath the door. And I think behind it there's lots more. It's 3 feet deep in the men's dormitory. The boat's sinking.
What are we supposed to do then? Drown with all them other rats?
Oh, don't be daft. There's lifeboats. They're up there. I've seen them in a snapshot. Me too, Kate. Me 3, Kate. How the hell do we get up there? How the hell do we get through that gate? How long are we supposed to wait? Who the hell is looking out for us?
What the hell are people doing here? Don't you know the ship's on her way down?
Who are you then?
Barrett, Stoker, we've got to get up to the lifeboats.
What do you think we're trying to do, man? The gate's locked.
Well, we're goalless for sure if we can't get up to those lifeboats.
We'll have to find another way, all right.
Other way? What other way? I've never seen no other way.
I know one. I snuck up to the radio room yesterday, and I didn't get caught neither.
How could such a terrible thing happen to such a marvelous ship?
Some marvelous ship.
Hurry up before we all drown.
Oh, you wait and see. We're gonna end up having to swim to America.
Ladies and gentlemen, this way, please. We're headed for the boat deck.
Not so fast, Alice.
Don't dawdle, Edgar. I want to make sure we're in the same lifeboat as the Astors.
I've never been in an open boat in my entire life.
Last week in Vienna, a fortune teller told me to beware of water.
As long as there's heat and light, I'm staying right where we are.
My diamonds! I forgot my diamonds!
Never mind, madam. I'll get you much better ones when we get to New York.
Reminds me of the time I was on the China Sea during the Boxer Rebellion, when our ship was attacked by a godless horde of Malay pirates.
This way, please.
Mrs. Cardoza, if anything should happen to me, I'd be very grateful if you could deliver this message to my sister in Ohio.
I'm sure you'll be all right, Mr. Rogers.
I count things, ma'am. I count cards and I count lifeboats. There aren't enough. I want my sister to know that I was aboard this ship.
But your name is on the passenger list, Mr.